Hi everyone, welcome to our feature in focus, and this is truly a feature in focus today because we're going to have a look at everything we've done throughout financial year 2026. Now, we're probably not going to look at it all because there's been hundreds of things, like David will tell us a little bit later, but we will look back at some of those really big ticket items that we've done, and David's going to give us a bit of an overview of some of those as well. For those that didn't meet David last week, I would love to welcome David back to us today. David is our product manager, and he's been with us since the start of the year, and he's been integral in all of the developments that have happened this year, and it's just amazing to have him on board. And I really appreciate his time out of his busy schedule to come and talk to us today. So thanks, David. Thanks for being here.
No problems.
Okay, before we begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet today and pay my respect to elders past and present. As I said, we are talking today about all of the features and things that we've released throughout 2026, just taking a bit of a look back at what that means, what it is that we've done, and David's going to walk us through all of that. So, reminder, sorry, before I get into it, I'm super excited. Reminder that we are recording this session. It will be on the Logiqc Academy as well, and we'll mail it out to everyone that's registered. Share that around, and if you do have any questions, pop them in the chat panel or in the Q&A. And of course, you can always touch base with us either via support@logiqc.com.au or customer success@logiqc.com.au. Okay, so we know that 2025-26 has been a super busy year, and we've had a range of new features that we've released. But it's not just the big ticket items, David. We also do regular maintenance for our platform, and we fix the bugs. If you could you give us a bit of an overview of what that looked like throughout this year? I know you've changed the way in which you guys record that. Just a bit more of a background around how that works.
Yeah, so it's actually something we're quite proud of at Logiqc. So when anything comes through to support, obviously we go through and look at that in more detail. We validate those things. We then create a ticket in our sort of issue tracking system for development, and then we go through and execute that. And then after we're finished doing that work, it's very important to us that we close out the loop. So the person that raised that particular issue, going from delivery and support perspective, will go back to that particular customer and notify them that that thing's either been fixed or rectified, or we've made some sort of minor enhancement or improvement for that. So it's something that we're quite proud of. I can say since February, or partway through February, we've done 173 of those. So that's not even a full year. So it's something that keeps the team very busy, but the quality of what we deliver is super important to us, and we appreciate all of the feedback that we get from customers as well that helps us deliver a good quality product as well.
That's great. So everyone on the call today, remember, you can pop those feedback and enhancements or ideas that you have through the help icon on your platform as well. And the guys take that very seriously, and they do have a look at that quite regularly. David, can you please remind us of some of the things that we did release over the last 12 months? There's been such big items. Would you mind taking us through some of those?
Yeah, can definitely do that. I might actually start off by saying there's quite a few exciting things happening at Logiqc all at once as well. Not only have we been working on some big important projects and doing the maintenance work that Elizabeth was talking about, but the team's been growing as well. So I've obviously joined around the start of the year. We've got another team member, Shay Griffiths, who's our information security and compliance lead, who's working on getting us towards our ISO 27001 certification, which is super important for us as well. not that we didn't have good security posture before, but making sure that that's constantly something that we're working on, given it's so important, and numerous other people joining the team. So that's been exciting to see the growth in the team to begin with, and then some of these larger projects that we've been working on. So I'm going to categorize them into sort of first to begin with, diving into each one. So one's really around critical workplace tools. So that's putting them right in your pocket, essentially. So we're talking mobile app here, but I'll dig into that a little bit deeper in a minute. Your connected data-driven insights. So we're talking about analytics and sort of more granular filtering, API endpoints, that type of thing. Your audit readiness. So, we've done this big project with Logiqc Auditor, which we're super proud of as well. That was quite a big piece of work for us. And then the last part, which is really a smoother everyday user experience. So constantly working out how we can improve the user experience in the product, make it easier to use. We're specifically talking about things like managing day-to-day operations, making things sort of less, making them frictionless, and there could be things like saving a draft or streamlining of things. So those are kind of like the broad areas to begin with, Elizabeth.
David, what was one of the features that we released that you think added most value to our customers? If you could choose one or maybe two, what do you think?
Oh yeah, that's tricky because there are some that are quite good in my opinion, that are almost equal weighting there. I think one being the mobile app, in terms of the accessibility, and knowing that we have frontline staff who are either in a clinic, an award, in the field somewhere, having that accessibility to things like just being able to create an incident when something happens, because you've got the device with you, the information isn't getting stale, being able to access your document information really easily and quickly as well. I think that's been super important. I think another one for me would be Logiqc Auditor, because it's taking us from what we already do today to capturing more audit information and being able to provide analytics on top of that. So being able to drive into that data and interrogate it more and ask more questions, that's been super important. I think the other one that's sort of top of mind for me, which probably letting things out of the bag a little bit here, are what we're doing with the AI features too that we're about to see pretty soon. That's very exciting, what we're doing in that space. So I'm kind of sitting on the fence here. I know you asked me for one, but I've given you three.
Fine. I'm going to ask everyone that's listening, if you have, over the last 12 months, if you've had a look at Logiqc at the mobile app, or your organisation is using the mobile app, can you give us a thumbs up, just so we can see how many people are using or are using the mobile app in their organisations. And if you want more information about that, let me know, and I can certainly send some of those things through to you. Now, David, we add a lot of evidence reports, and we support our customers through, if their risk matrix, for instance, is different to what we have in our suite, we customise those for them as well. And those are quite easy processes, right? They just reach out either via us or via support, and we can get that work done for them. Is that's something that we continue to do, and we continue to build on those libraries?
Yeah, it definitely is. Once again, something that we're quite proud of, that if there is a need for someone to create those things and have them available, we'll go ahead and do that work. So I've seen quite a few of those come through over my time here already. So yeah, and once again, it's great to see the platform evolving and having those things added. And I think add a few sort of smaller items that we've been working on. Well, not smaller, but more granular in nature as well, Elizabeth, if that's okay.
Yeah. David, When you and your team work on these features, there's a lot of work that goes in the back end. There's a lot of planning that you guys do. Which one of these features that we released this year do you think was the most challenging for you and your team, but then also was really fun to see come to life at the end?
Yeah, I think I came in partway through this project, so but one for me would be Logic Auditor, because it's just such a large piece of work, but it really transforms what people can do with the product. So that's been one for me. I think the other one that's been quite interesting, because I've probably been involved from a little bit earlier on with this coming in, has been around the AI incident report work that we're doing as well. So that's been super interesting, and from the perspective of how do we make sure that we're providing reasonably reliable information? How is this providing an assistance to the customer or their end users in terms of making sure that they've got some efficiency out of this process, considering how this thing's going to work once it's in the field with people as well, and they're using it through a mobile device, and they're saving time with it as well. Given that they're on a mobile device, like there's just so much that's involved in that's been so fun to be that project as well, and to see our team sort of dig into that and take that challenge on as well. Like I can't say enough about our fantastic team. We've got some great developers, engineers on our team who are super passionate about this stuff, and you'll hear from them too. Like you'll be seeing Tim, who's worked on this project in a couple of webinars that are upcoming as well, and digging into more of the details for it. So I don't want to say too much and spoil his future webinars, but yeah, that's been super exciting.
So David, we internally talk about our roadmap all the time, and I'm going to ask you if you can give us a sneak peek about what's upcoming in just a minute. But we know that we get requests from our customers. We know that there's changes in the industry that we have to adapt to. And then we know that we've got this list of things that we would like to see Logic to do, and we always put them in front of you guys. How do you determine what takes priority? How do you work out what happens in a release, say every month or every 6 weeks when we do one? How do you determine that?
Yeah, well, there never is a shortage of things for us to do. So essentially when it comes to prioritization for us, there's obviously, there's ongoing maintenance work that will always happen, and we want to make sure that we're always doing that and making sure the platform's up to date and things are, are relatively smooth in terms of any bugs that might come up from a user experience standpoint or anything else. So that's kind of a given. But in terms of the larger ticket items, we're constantly thinking about how we can deliver more customer value. That's really what it is at the end of the day, and more broadly to as many customers as we actually can. So we have a number of different strategic pillars that we look at as part of that, and Anna, we're kind of driving that. And then what we try and look is when customers come to us with those ideas and features, we see how they align with those pillars. We look at how more broadly it would deliver more customer value to the customers that we can. And then obviously there's some work that we'll do around what's the level of technical effort, what could this look like? We may not know exactly what the solution is at that. It may take some work to work out what various different options could look like, or even doing things in stages as well. A good example of that, once again, is the AI work that we're doing. We're doing the incident report to begin with, and then there's more to come in other areas afterwards. So that's a little bit about how we go about prioritization.
All the work that you do since we've released Logic Mobile, every single change impacts desktop version and mobile, doesn't it? So you're kind of now building for two platforms almost.
Yeah, the surface area is getting bigger, that's for sure. And it's not just web and mobile too. It's the APIs is another surface area that we have as well. So yeah, that's, you know, as we continue to add more features and capabilities, that surface area is expanding, and we just want to make sure that they're up to date on multiple platforms as well.
Thanks, David. Before we go to the sneak peek, can you just give us a quick demo of, just if anyone hasn't really had a look at the Logic Store or they haven't had a look at Logic Auditor, would you mind just quickly sharing where we can find those things and just a brief overview, and then we'll talk about what's coming?
Yeah, sure. So if you're an administrator in the system and you can get to admin mode, you can see the Logic Store from there. Through there, you'll also be able to activate Logic Auditor as well, and that obviously changes the auditing experience that's in the application. So just as a little bit of orientation for that, I might see if I can just bring up a screen here and just provide a little bit of a navigation. Just give me a second here. Sorry, I'll just share my screen. There we go. So you'll see Logic Store sitting over there. Sorry, that's the wrong one. You'll see Logic Store sitting here, and under your registers, you will see Logic Auditor down here that you can actually get as well. So while I'm sharing my screen at the moment, I might give you that little bit of a sneak peek that we were talking about. So if we're looking at Logic Auditor here, and we go down to Management and Audits, and I'll just go into an audit at the moment, you'll see this new interface. You'll also see this bit of a tour that you'll get as well, which Katie, our learning experience designer, has put together. It'll walk you through everything quite well in terms of how this actually works. So there's some great information there, but I'm going to skip that for the moment. One of the things I'd probably like to show you here is the audit summary report. So that's looking quite nice in terms of the information that's available to you through that. I might actually even jump in and show you what an audit actually looks like. If I've got one here. No, sorry, let me close out of that. Did have one previously. I might come back to that one. The other thing I might look to show you is a little bit what we're doing with our AI functionality as well. So this is a little bit of a teaser. Let me leave this and come back to it. Right, so when we're adding an incident now on web, you'll see this little button down here. So if I'll go and just grab a description that I have here that I've prepared earlier, and I come back in, I just paste this in. There we go. Oh, sorry, my credits have been exhausted there. I'll just talk to this point. So what basically happens is when you fill this in, and you hit this, fill this form in with AI, what it'll do behind the scenes is it will go and reason for each particular field that's in here, taking this description, and it will go and populate each field. What you'll then see is a little sparkle that appears next to each label where AI has filled this in for you based on the description that's available. So you can kind of see how much time you're saving here from being able to fill this in. And you know, if you're really up with the technology, you can use your voice to text in this field. You can also do the same activity here on the mobile device as well. It'll fill in things like persons involved and everything else. And then further down here, you'll have this accepting of you've actually filled it in with AI as well, that you've reviewed that. I might actually jump in and see if I can show you on a different environment what this looks like. So let me just try this again. Right. And we'll fill this in. You can see it's doing some reasoning under here. And then it's gone off and populated. You can see these little sparkles that have appeared here. So that's actually gone and filled in that form for me. And then see this, I've filled in these fields with AI. And a little bit where we're looking to take that in future is just not this button, but to make it appear more broadly across the application and do more things. So we've kind of got this little icon, we call it a floating action button down the bottom here. And when you click that, it starts to ask you what you would like to do. So we kind of envisage this working across multiple areas in the application where you'd be able to use AI for a whole bunch of different capabilities as well. So that's very exciting to see how that would work and how that would provide additional value to our customers. I'll just stop sharing there.
So that's amazing because it actually gets it right. And that's because Tim's and your team's put so much into educating the AI for our purposes, for us. I've got a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
Jody wants to know if AI can analyse supporting documents, witness statements, etc., and use this information to support the population actions and investigative outcomes.
Yeah. So we're looking to do some more in the area later on. Right now, initially, what it's doing is it's using description that's available, and it's using that to populate each individual field. And obviously, it knows the reference data that's used for those fields to select an appropriate option as well. What we're thinking about in the future is how it could access more information that's inside of the system to help do that. So it's definitely something that we're thinking about. It doesn't do it today, but it's definitely something we're interested in.
Thanks, David. And then Irene wants to know, will AI be available to all in all the registers? And what is the timeline for deployment?
Okay, that's a very interesting, timely question. So we're planning to do a release of that feature tonight, all things going okay with QA and everything as well. But that is the plan from our end. So that's very exciting. And then who it's available to, it'll be available to any customers that are actually on a plan at the moment. It won't be activated immediately for everyone. You'll need to go into your system settings and turn on using Logiqc AI to actually use it. But that's how you would activate it. No, I think that's the right way to do it. We don't want to automatically spring AI as a feature on for everyone. They may not want to use it. It's very much an opt-in kind of exercise. In terms of its availability across registers, we're just starting out with incident reporting right now, but definitely the plan for us is to gradually roll this out to more registers later on.
Logic gives you a certain number of credits, don't we?
That's right. Yeah, there's a number of complimentary included credits for each particular plan. We don't believe that in terms of our customers using it for incident report, they're going to exhaust the credits that are available to them. We kind of have a principle around this that we want to encourage a really good reporting culture. So what we want to do is make sure that the complementary credits that are available are going to be more than sufficient to allow people to use as a tool to increase their efficiency and more accurately record that type of information, given that it's in a more timely fashion as well. So that's a bit about our guiding kind of principle behind that.
That's amazing. I've got one more question. Jody wants to know if AI can indicate that you do not have the correct or enough fields to search from and apply that to the incident details.
Yeah, so that's part of the work that we've been doing in this space is that it, AI always the case or try and sometimes hallucinate things and work things. We put a lot of effort into trying to minimize the guesswork that it's potentially doing. So if there's not enough information that is accurate in the description for it to reliably fill in a field, we're going with the fact that the field should not be filled in. That's always a balancing act between how much it's going to auto-populate versus accuracy. I think that we've got the balance right here with this, but it's something that we're even today planning about doing more fine-tuning on in terms of how we get this thing better. Tim's a very busy boy at the moment, looking into that even today.
Right. One more question. Sorry. Can you share or direct organisations to the privacy and confidentiality aspects of AI within the Logic environment?
Yeah, I definitely can. So I can talk to that. There's going to be a separate session that Tim will be doing in the future that talks around data sovereignty and how we use this data. So essentially, the information that is put into Logic that's used to populate the fields that are in there, we don't store that. We don't use it for any training information at all. In terms of where the models sit, that sits with all of our infrastructure that we have today inside of Australian data centers in Microsoft Azure at the moment as well. So I think from a customer's point of view, you can be fairly comfortable from the fact knowing that we don't use the data for training. We use models where they're not storing that data for training either. It's all within Australian data centers and inside our existing infrastructure as it is today. So essentially we're using it more as an assistant to go, here is some information that's being provided. Let's transform that and then use it to populate the fields. And then we just store it like we would in terms of normal form fields for the actual incident inside the database that we have for Logic. So it's kind of transient in terms of how it does that information. It's not holding on to it, using it for any type of training data.
I don't have any more questions, but I do want to just thank you for taking the time to talk to us about all of these things today. I know that your team is, especially today, super busy, so we appreciate you taking the time. If anyone else has anything that they want to add, thanks, Jodie. Jodie says that she's found this session very beneficial.
Awesome.
And yes, absolutely, Jodie, we do. We have 2 webinars every month, and they come out in our newsletter, which you all should be receiving shortly if it hasn't already come through in your email, the registration for next month. And next month will be with Tim, and we will be talking all about incident AI and the data sovereignty. So please join us for those. If you get that registration link, share that around. The more people we can provide that information to in one go, the better. Thanks for all the questions that you've asked today, and thanks for joining us. And David, again, thank you for your time, and we look forward to what's coming next.
Pleasure
Have a great day, everyone.
And being able to share. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.